When Botswana gained independence from Britain in 1966, it was a poor, sparsely populated and underdeveloped country with no proper road network and limited motorization. Following the discovery of diamond deposits in Orapa in 1967 and Jwaneng in 1974, Botswana's economic fortunes improved to become one of the fastest growing economies in the world. As the economy continued to grow and road infrastructure networks improved, human mobility increased and the number of vehicles on the roads increased, leading to an increased number of car crashes and people losing their lives or suffering serious injuries. Each year, as the rate of car crashes increased, the number of lives lost or injured increased to such a point that Botswana was among the highest road crash casualty countries in the world. This threatened to reverse the positive gains of economic progress that the country was experiencing, and something needed to be done to address the situation.
It is a bit difficult. I think they are overwhelmed, most of our roads, especially when you look at the infrastructure around cities and bigger villages. Bigger villages meaning those villages like Mudepolole, Palape, which are growing. Palape is growing now to be a town of its own. And also you find that Gaborone, early in the mornings when you go around, you'll find that most of our roads are really congested, especially that people are driving from outside this town to their workplaces. Because these roads have been designed in their own way during those early days. They were designed maybe for smaller vehicle population, but since the population has maybe tripled and increased, without us maybe increasing maybe dualing them to a certain extent so that they can be accommodated in terms of moving around the city.
Road crashes are a global public health challenge. According to the United Nations, nearly 1.3 million people die each year on the world's roads and up to 50 million are injured. This number is forecast to rise to 1.9 million by 2020. The WHO Global Status Report revealed that over 90% of road traffic casualties occur in developing countries, costing such countries at least $100 billion a year, placing a burden on hospitals and healthcare systems generally.
Yeah, the impact of this kind of accidents on an individual at a social level and also at a financial level is very huge. Because if you're working, maybe taking example of maybe as a driver, that being your profession, and then you happen to have an accident that will take away both of your limbs, maybe both of your legs, then it means you will not drive anymore, unless maybe the company is willing to modify a vehicle for you, which is not normally the case. So you might end up losing your job. And if you lose your job, it affects your personal life at a social level, at an economic level. It affects those who are dependent on you. So the effects of loss of income are very huge. You have seen people, their lives deteriorating, getting worse by the day. Some of the people going to even the extent of maybe losing their families because they can no longer function anymore.
When you look at our accident rate, looking at the number of people that we are losing, maybe every day or per year, as I said, per year we lose around 400 people or so. It is disheartening in the sense that this also translates into our social life, because one accident may claim maybe 5 people, and then when you look at those 5 people, they have been the sole breadwinners in their own right, and this extends to now impoverishing those who were dependent upon these people. So when you look at these accidents, we also look at them, how they affect our social stratification, if I may put it that way.
In Botswana, the estimated direct and indirect socio-economic cost of road crashes is estimated at about 3% of national GDP. This is a significant cost to the national economy that a developing country such as Botswana can ill afford. The large burden of the cost of road crashes is incurred by the emergency medical responders and public health institutions that dedicate vital resources to deal with the high road accidents and costs associated with premature loss of life and debilitating injuries to active citizens. Road accident victims admitted to public hospitals cost the government a lot of money annually. Businesses and organizations incur financial losses from road crashes because road crashes keep key business resources from being productive at work, and vehicle repairs and maintenance costs of company assets as a result of road crashes can result in serious financial losses. Many households have been impoverished by costs resulting from loss or disability of family wage earners as a result of road crashes, leaving dependents to turn to the state for financial support. Prior to 1987, the insurance industry announced that it intended to increase third-party insurance premiums by 600% due to the rising number of road traffic accidents, and the government was concerned that the premiums would be too high for the average person. On the 1st of January 1987, the government established the Motor Vehicle Insurance Fund in response to the insurance industry announcement, and it began operating under the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. The fund was established with the aim of becoming an automatic third-party cover through the payment of the fuel levy.
Motor Vehicle Accident Fund started operation on the 1st of January 1987, then under the Motor Vehicle Insurance Fund. We have undergone two legislative reviews. The first one in 1998, which changed the name from Motor Vehicle Insurance Fund to Motor Vehicle Accident Fund, and further introduced the caps on the benefit. We are currently operating under the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund Act number 15 of 2007.
MVA Fund is mandated with the promotion of road safety and injury prevention, and it shares this mandate with other stakeholders like the police, the Department of Road Transport and Safety, Department of Roads, and others. As a result, MVA Fund focuses a lot on public education to address issues of road user behavior. So as our strategy, we are focusing more on road user behaviors, different classes of road users, such as pedestrians and passengers and drivers and cyclists and so on. And our road safety response strategy is focused on addressing the specific risk behaviors that are displayed on our roads by different road users.
When accidents happen on our roads, there's always an adverse consequence. People get injured, people die. Statutorily, it is the responsibility of the MVA fund to collect money and to make sure that in the event of adversity, they pay. But resources being limited all the time, it is in the interest of the MVA fund to make sure that not only do they support safer roads, but they protect these funds so that they will ultimately get used for those people who are in need. The fewer the people, the greater we can do. This is why I'm emphasizing the issue of partnership.
Part of the major challenge facing the fund is that despite the many years of road safety education, the number of fatalities on national roads continue to increase and remains very high. So in 2014, the fund, in partnership with the University of Botswana, undertook a survey on road user behavior. The aim was to seek to understand the level of knowledge, attitude and awareness behaviors of different road users. The outcomes would assist the fund management in formulating strategies for improving road safety in Botswana. The survey results indicated that there was a high awareness of road traffic rules by the general public, but the awareness of road traffic rules is not reflected by behaviors of road users. For example, the number of recorded overspeeding violations in high-density areas indicates that motorists are driving over the speed limit despite the awareness of the speed limit and the danger that it poses to other road users in such populated areas.
We have established key performance indicators, and the first thing is to make sure that we periodically assess the environment within which we operate. We conduct surveys on an annual basis. The first survey that we conducted was in 2014, which was a road user behavior survey. And out of that survey, we were able to pick that in terms of knowledge level, it's very high amongst the road users. It was about over 80%, the knowledge level. And what surprises us now is that that does not translate into compliance. And now we are continue to do road safety knowledge audits or studies, as well as road user compliance study, so that we can actually see the gap that exists between the knowledge and the actual compliance, because that gap is the one that actually pushes the casualties or road accidents.
No, the funds have made huge development. I think since we started to uptake our public education, the level of road safety knowledge have increased in the country. We have also been instrumental in the formation of road safety clubs for schools, and then out of school use there has been some community grant schemes that are also in existence. And from an investment perspective, we have in the past capacitated Botswana Police with 8 traffic surveillance vehicles and 3 boost buses. And between the ages of the years 2011 and 2014, we had seen a significant improvement in terms of recorded fatal accident and fatalities. In addition, some of the parastatals have also incorporated road safety into the ASHI programs. Firstly, there's a National Road Safety Committee where all key players are part of. That includes a Motor Vehicle Accidents Fund, Botswana Police Service, Departments of Roads, Transport, Departments of Roads, and the private insurance industry. We also have a multilateral and bilateral agreement with other entities who also participate in road safety, and that is how we manage our relationships.
Our strategy is aligned with that of the United Nations. United Nations has a roadmap which is called United Nations Decade of Action, roadmap for road safety 2011-2020. This basically set or charted the way forward for the rest of the world. As far as the National Road Safety Committee is concerned in Botswana, we are lagging behind, because one of the keys or targets of this strategy or roadmap is that by 2020, accidents should be reduced by half. And half, the base here, we are talking of what the situation was in 2011.
The Decade of Action for Road Safety has said that we are having different pillars that we look at. And then each person with his own mandate, like the Botswana Police, they're looking at road user safety. And then the Department of Roads is also leading us in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of the mobility, the roads, how the roads are safe. And you know, some of the roads might not be good due to deterioration as they are growing older.
In implementing and seeking to accelerate, we have developed 5 pillars, and I will indicate who leads them and why. The first pillar is that of road safety management. The primary leader there is the Minister of Transport and Communications and the Permanent Secretary, that is myself.
Some of the key actions the department oversees on behalf of the committees include planning and arranging National Road Safety Committee quarterly meetings. So the other one is overseeing district road safety committees, implementation of road safety initiatives. Ke rona ba e leng gore nena madi di committees di committee re be re bona gore di committees tsone tseo they are function. The other one is producing road safety budget and reports.
The second one is that of safe roads and mobility. The leader here is the Department of Roads, because it is the roads that we use. They are the ones who are responsible for the standards of construction and engineering. They are the ones that are responsible for making sure that we have the road infrastructure and that it is set in the right places. They are the ones who are responsible for taking care of aspects of research and making sure that it becomes applied research, given the accidents that we've been having. We have the Department of Road Transport and Safety. Once the road signs are there, they must be observed, and when people don't apply them, the Department of Road Transport and Safety must come in and enforce. They must have the Botswana police behind them enforcing the law. Because if we talk about safe roads and mobility on the roads without any enforcement, but knowing that people don't always comply, we will not be able to do our job. There's the issue of safer vehicles. That's the responsibility of the Department of Road Transport and Safety, making sure that the vehicles that are on the roads are roadworthy. They do not cause accidents, and they do not damage our roads. A lot of you would have driven on our roads and have realized that in certain cases, because of these unroadworthy vehicles, some of the roads get torn by axles and all kinds of heavy loads because a vehicle that should not have been on the road is actually on the road. A vehicle is carrying a load which is a lot greater than what it should be carrying. So it is for this reason that we have this inspectorate that follows all the time to make sure that people comply. Another key stakeholder there is the MVA fund, because when accidents happen on our roads, there's always an adverse consequence. People get injured, people die. Statutorily, it is the responsibility of the MVA fund to collect money and to make sure that in the event of adversity, they pay. But resources being limited all the time, it is in the interest of the MVA fund to make sure that not only do they support safer roads, but they protect these funds so that they will ultimately get used for those people who are in need.
Our mandate is to promote road safety, to compensate, rehabilitate, and support those who are affected by road traffic accidents. Promotion of road safety is important because we undertake it to ensure that there are no fatalities on the road. We want people to be alive and contribute meaningfully to the families and to the government. Therefore, really, the reason why we undertake public education is to encourage people to change their behavior and become responsible road users.
There's the issue of safer roads, and here we are led by the police. The duty of the police in terms of the law is to enforce the law. People must have licenses. People must not drink and get on our roads. People must not overload buses and then overspeed and cause accidents in the process. People must not obtain licenses in a fraudulent manner without the skills, the experience, and then go and cause accidents. The last pillar is that of post-crash response. Here we have the Ministry of Health as a leader, because from a public health point of view, they are responsible, but they can't do it on their own. As government, we need partners. In certain cases, it can be partner cousins like the MVA, which is a statutory body or a parastatal. We need the emergency rescue operators who assist in those cases where the government is not always in a position to respond, either because we don't have a physical location or the skills close enough to where we have an accident.
Since the first issue of the MVA Road Crash and Claims Report was released in 2009, the fund continues to collaborate with stakeholder organizations in the collection of data and preparation of the report each year. The report is a vital document in the analysis of trends in road crashes and claims, and forms an important decision tool to the fund and stakeholders such as the government of Botswana, insurance companies, and civic organizations. Road crashes present a huge expense to the national economy, and the report is key in assisting government to direct national resources to where they are most needed to have an impact on road traffic accidents.
We also have a good relationship with the Ministry of Health and Wellness. In the past, we had donated 5 ambulances to them to help us in evacuating those who are injured. We did that because the commercial EMS, they are mainly concentrated in the major towns, and in the village they don't have a physical presence. So it made sense for us to partner with government, because again we are serving the same government, and we have received tremendous support from Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Or the National Road Safety Committee, which is chaired by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Transport and Communications, have agreed that we try to work together with other stakeholders, of which we have been doing, but we have now been tasked to say, as DRTS, you should look at the safety in terms of the vehicle population. Look at whether these vehicles are safe to be used on the road, because we have different pillars as per the mandate of this department, and also due to the decade of action for road safety. We have embarked in different ways. We are using our inspectorate to ensure that the Transport Inspectorate now embarks on a lot of law enforcement by patrolling, and also ensuring that we educate people. Sometimes we enforce the law, yet people don't know that some of these things that they are doing are not really incognizant of what the law really requires.
We are going to have to invest time. We are going to have to invest money. We are going to have to invest in a new attitude regarding how we interact with the roads and road infrastructure.
We want to send a clear message to the nation that indeed is very, very important to develop a culture of responsible road use. It is very critical. We have lost a lot of our beloved citizens through road accidents. We cannot afford to lose more. It is therefore critical for each and everyone to spread the message, to spread the gospel of road safety, responsible use of our roads. It is upon us as individuals, as a collective, to ensure that whenever we are driving, we do that with a sober mind. We do it cautiously. We do it responsibly. So it is this message that we want to send to the nation.
In the coming episodes in this series, we are going to explore each of the major factors that are known to contribute to our high rate of road crashes. We will explore behavior patterns that lead drivers to behave in ways that places their life and those of other road users at risk, and we will provide positive behavior patterns that we all need to practice to safeguard all road users. Join us on the next episode.